Bio Peeps, it's me to the Eenie, Ms. Meanie, and today we are talking about human impact. What do you mean, human impact? Well, guess what? Over the past 200 years, population has grown exponentially, meaning there's almost 7 billion people on this planet and there's not enough room. That brings us closer to our carrying capacity of 8 to 10 billion people all over the globe. And this is limited due to the amount of available resources. Now, we talked about resources in class, and we are talking about land, oil, water, and so on. So, by increasing population, we are using up our resources way faster than we can actually produce it, which is no bueno. Which leads to pollution. Who cares, right? Well, pollution is the release of harmful substances or energy into the air, soil, or water. That's stuff we need, people. This leads to an unstable ecosystem, and pollution can harm and does harm plants and animals. And some sources of these pollutions are overcrowded landfills, nuclear power plants, and transportation, which all comes from us. So we are definitely destroying this world as we know it. Because everybody is wanting to drive or have a whip, let's talk about burning fossil fuels, huh? Fossil fuels, well, we're talking about oil, gas, and coal. So burning fossil fuel causes pollution, releasing sulfur and nitrogen, and leads to acid rain. Acid rain harms those ecosystems by damaging the plants, and without the plants, guess what? There's no oxygen. So this is harmful to not just animals, but everybody. And it can also change the pH, or the acidity, in the aquatic habitats and kill the species that live there. So not only are we killing everything on land, we're killing everything in the water. Bum, bum, bum. So, what does that mean? Well, all of these factors are going to contribute to what is going to bring us down. Now, habitat destruction, or deforestation, meaning that we're cutting down all the trees, is the removal of trees and plants. So people may cut down these trees to make more homes or paper, and what happens then is all these animals have nowhere else to go. So deforestation destroys these habitats and reduces the biodiversity. Biodiversity, you ask? Well, that's the differences of life, meaning that there's a variety of different things around you. When you look at your yard, how many different animals or species of plants do you see? Probably only 2. Before you, there was probably over 30. So deforestation not only removes oxygen from the atmosphere, it also increases our carbon dioxide because we don't have enough plants to take it out. So the next thing we need to look at is, because everybody wants to decorate these yards. You only see 2 different things out there, but usually it's stuff that you planted. You want it to look nice. So then you import this ivy, and this ivy is taken over the whole entire state of North Carolina. And what we mean by that is by non-native species. They're invaders, like space invaders. Dun, dun, dun. Humans can introduce new species and into an environment, but sometimes these species become invasive and have a negative effect. Sometimes it has no predators, meaning that it's not going to die. Nothing's going to eat it. Nothing's going to kill it. There's no natural predator. And it can reproduce exponentially. The population then increases and then competes with the native species for those same resources. And a well-known invasive species in North Carolina is the kudzu. It smothers other plants to gain the sunlight. For further research, if you're really interested, you should check out the African land snail that's invaded Florida. This thing is a foot long and kind of creepy looking. But that's another subject. So last but not least, we're going to go and talk about global warming, because everything, all this deforestation, the burning fossil fuels, the introduction of non-native plants and animals and pollution and human population, all of this stuff is gathering up and causing global warming. And global warming is caused by the increase of carbon dioxide. And if you notice that each one of those 5 things we just talked about, all of it leads to the increase of carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. And if you've ever been in a greenhouse, you know that it's really muggy and you can't really breathe because it's kind of enclosed and, it's just a hothouse. So it traps the heat, and this causes the ice caps to melt and the sea levels to rise. And if anybody knows about rising sea levels, is at the oceans. Go to New Orleans, go to New York City, Boston, LA. All of those different port cities will be underwater. And it's also expected to cause more extreme weather. So, recap. All of these different things that we do to this planet is going to lead to our devastation of the planet. Hopefully you learned something today, and hopefully it was interesting. Thanks again for joining us for another biology lesson.